Hi guys, welcome to Simply Scuba. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the best accessories for 2019. So I've got all sorts of bits and bobs. It's not really stuff that's brand new for 2019. It's just stuff that I like, that I think sort of a lot of times goes under the radar. So it's always worth sort of mentioning because it might help out your scuba diving. Now, this is unfortunately going to be the final one of this series of sort of best bits for 2019. We actually have something new coming up, which I will mention later on in the show. But for now, let's take a look at the best accessories for 2019. Okay, so first up we have a classic. This is the Underwater Kinetics Hangair. So this is basically a giant coat hanger for your wetsuit or your dry suit, and big shoulders, so that means that for your wetsuit it's not going to crease, but also it has a built-in fan. So you hook it up and then you plug it in, and basically it sucks in air from the surroundings and then pumps it down through your suit. So that means that it dries much quicker, so it's much more, it's just nicer sort of getting into that suit for a second dive. If your dry suit has flooded, it just means that you can sort of clean it out. It stays fresher as well, and you can leave your suit kind of hanging up on it, and it's going to keep it in sort of a nicer condition. So that's very popular, especially around the sort of Christmas time. That's always a good gift for the scuba diver in your life. Moving across the table to a small dinky one. This one I actually used yesterday. This is an IST car tire inflator. Basically, if you have a car and a diving cylinder and your regulators, basically you can pump up your car tires from that. Instead of using a foot pump or anything, then you just connect this to your low pressure inflator hose, and then you can just and it inflates your tires. Very quick, very civilized. I definitely recommend these. As I said yesterday, one of my tires was running a little bit low, so a few little blasts from this, and that was back up to scratch. So that's a nice little gift. We also have waterproof Ultima dry glove system. So I use these on my dry suit. They're made from the specs from Cytec, and basically if you have a dry suit with Cytec silicone cuff seals, which basically if any dry suit that has silicone cuffs, pretty much 99% of them have the sort of that silicone oval ring. You just take that out and whack this in, and then you have a dry glove system. Very reliable, very easy to use even with gloves, and yeah, just tough. I like them. I can definitely recommend them, and yeah, they've made my sort of cold water diving a lot nicer. Instead of neoprene gloves, you've got sort of thin dry gloves. So waterproof Ultima, I definitely recommend. Another thing for cold water diving, looks small. This is basically a lip shield. So this comes from Apex. It sits over your mouthpiece and on your sort of second stage, and it just covers your lips. It does make a world of difference, especially in very cold waters. It kind of acts a little bit like a wetsuit. It traps a certain layer of water just over your lips, stops it from moving around, and just sort of keeps it a little bit warmer. So after a long cold dive, these make a world of difference. They're very cheap. You can, pardon me, you can fit them to most second stages. Some it's a little bit awkward because they have slightly larger sort of mouthpieces on them, but you can adapt them to fit most mouthpieces. Another simple one, this is the, I think it's an IST aluminium pointer. Simple device, it's useful for all sorts of things. One, so you don't have to get quite so close to something nasty. You can really sort of point things out. You've got measuring sort of marks on it as well, in both metric and imperial. And it's aluminium, so you never have to worry about it rusting. And another sort of quite useful use for it is that you can brace yourself just a little bit without having to touch anything with your hands, risk getting stung or damaging the reef. Just get to a sort of sandy section or something that's definitely a rock, and then just kind of rest yourself. If there's a little bit of current and you want to see something in a crack, instead of actually touching it with your hand, you can touch it with the aluminium, and it's less likely to damage yourself or the environment. If you require corrective lenses, the Truesir, they call it a universal optical frame, and it is pretty universal. If you have a single lens mask that doesn't have that kind of ridge in the center, this will fit pretty much any mask. And it's a real quick and easy way of fitting corrective lenses to your mask without having to swap lenses over or sort of cement new ones in. Now it's very basic. It only corrects for the spherical reading. If you have any other sort of problems with your eyes that need correcting, then they can struggle. But if you have a basic sort of correction requirements, very, very simple to install. We've got all these little arms sort of around that just kind of hold it in the right sort of position. And yeah, they do fit most masks. It's a very clever little gadget, and yeah, they don't fog up neither, which is quite nice. Yeah, I definitely like those. Another one is for safety. So this is the Nautilus Marine GPS. So this basically, it'll sit in a pocket, and hopefully you'll never have to use it. But if something terrible should happen, you surface and your boat isn't there, instead of just using your DSMB and hoping that someone can see it, you can open this little guy up and sort of release this antennae and then press a button, and it will broadcast your location to certain boats in the area, and you'll pop up on their GPS. And if they're looking for you, then they know exactly where to find you. It's just one of those things. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's pretty small, it's waterproof, so it's made for scuba divers. You can take it down to most recreational depths, and yeah, it's just that little sort of safety feature that if someone's looking for you, it's going to make their life a lot easier and you're going to get found that much faster. The final one is a bit of a shameless plug, but we made them for a reason. So we have here at Simply Scuba, we've made our own range of premium cases. So these are semi-rigid cases. This is the one for the regulators, but we also make it for your accessories, so a small little square box, and then one for your mask, just to keep your mask safe. Semi-rigid, so they're going to resist crushing like a lot of traditional sort of regulator bags that you put stuff in. It can take quite a lot of force, so it's going to protect your regulators. It's a decent size, so you're not going to have to coil them up quite so much, try and cram your regulators in. There's plenty of space inside, and then on the inside we even put some padding and some packaging. So padding on the inside, so that's going to protect your regulators from sort of moving around. You can store it, you can stack it, makes your life a lot easier, just protecting your stuff, and it looks good on the dive site, I think. Yeah, so there are some of our favorites. They were in no particular order, yeah, there's plenty of accessories out there. I could have gone from the sublime to the extreme. They include reef hooks and all that kind of stuff, but these things were stuff that just kind of stood out for me, that yeah, I can definitely recommend them. They're that little bit better than some other things that are on the market, and yeah, they're just smart, useful accessories. Okay, so all of these are available on our website, simplyscuba.com, but of course, let us know what your favorite accessory is in the comments below and why, what you use it for. Okay, so at the beginning of the show, I mentioned that we have something new coming up. So basically, when we very first released our video for the Suunto D5 dive computer, there'll be a link up there if you want to watch that. Basically, everybody says, oh, can you compare it to the Terek? So we thought that might be a pretty cool sort of series to do. So that's what we're gonna do. The first video is gonna be the Suunto D5 versus the Shearwater Terek. And it's basically me just comparing all the different features and just sort of making it easier for you to make a more informed decision whether basically which one to go for. Now obviously in the comments below, let us know what you guys want compared, so that we can sort of have more ideas what you guys want to see sort of compared in the future, and then maybe we'll put it up to a vote, see which one comes out in which order. Okay guys, let us know what you think. Thanks for watching and safe diving.
We are an online dive store serving the UK and the world for all your diving equipment needs. So why not visit us at simplyscuba.com or click the box on your screen.